have a shakeup. It doesn't hurt to have candidates going after each other on different points of view. It brings the party together and say, okay, we got issues that we got to join together with. And in my opinion, this is the year that organizations like the Libertarian Party better have a good candidate to bring into the White House. And here's why. If any moron out there decides to vote for Hillary Clinton, who is supported by ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, every Muslim out there who is an enemy of the United States of America and is supported by the Communist Party, and now we could even say that she would be supported by the socialists who are right-winged. Let's put one thing that's very much in her control. She would control the entire world, except for us Christians and the Jews. Kind of interesting that we are in this battle as well. But I was talking to a person on yesterday, and we were talking about this very same thing. Exactly. I made a statement, and I will keep to this statement, that I am the most conservative human being on earth. And he said, there's one other that's more conservative than you are. I said human being. I didn't say being. There's another being that's even more conservative, and that's God. God himself is so conservative that the definition of conservative through God is infinite. You can't define it. But with me, you can. And someone asked me that, why am I so conservative like that? Well, I don't believe in change. I don't believe in getting help from your enemies. I don't believe in that crap. My enemies are very clear and right to the point. I only really got one, and that is Satan himself. But since President Bush decided not to call the Muslim group, and if he would have called the Muslims a occult group, which they are, we wouldn't have the problems that we have today. That would have ended the war. But since he chickened out and became politically correct, making him a liberal Republican, one that you couldn't trust, one that sometimes had the integrity and ethics to do the right thing, but didn't. Yes, I felt that President Bush did the right things at the right time, but didn't use the right words. I think if that would have happened in 9/11, the war with ISIS, the war with Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban would be over. That's what is needed, is the right description and the right words. I know I've been talking about a lot of different things in this area, and the main purpose is to talk about communist nations and the Islamic State and others that want to support Hillary Clinton, and I have to include the others because that's a socialist. Socialists like the self-claimed socialist Bernie Sanders. I think putting all together would make a lot of common sense to a lot of people that are very conservative as a red flag and a warning to the start of the one world government. That's why we're pasting it all together for you. Kind of giving you something to make sense with, and kind of showing you that common sense would tell you, read your history, understand sites, understand what people are saying, understand what a true communist is. And like I said, yes, I could point the finger towards Hillary Clinton being one, but I cannot say that she is one. She's coming up with the same ideas as the communists would come up with. And yes, we have to include the Islamic State of Muslims as a communist group and an occult group. We know communism, which is a, believe it or not, it can be considered a religion, and it should be, is an occult group as well. Anytime you got ideas of hate and hatred, that's an occult group. That's a group that hates the most. Hillary Clinton hates bullying. She hates what's going on in the political arena right now, and here's why. She loves the idea that everybody should get along and agree with each other. That idea came from the United Nations in 2015 in Agenda 21. Obama brought this out. And if you were ones that read and understand, because I've given you sites to go to, Agenda 21 and the Sustainable Development Agenda under climate control, all this is for climate control, means that we should be getting along. And it's okay for outside groups to give towards, and those other nations to give towards a campaign for a dictator type leadership from the Liberal Party, Democrats. But it's unethical too. Now that's the point that I really was trying to strive at here. The ethics. If you ever look at any Democratic liberal candidate, none of their candidacy is ethical and should be considered ethics and is ethical. In other words, there's no integrity there. To me, if you want to be president of the United States of America, you should have ethics and integrity. You should have good common sense. Not this, I want this done, you will do this when I become president, like you hear from Hillary Clinton, giving away free education in college, which is a communist idea, forcing public schools, and it's in my book, by the way, forcing public schools to teach and to force students to take a pledge or an oath to the Islamic State of Muslims and to support all Al-Qaeda, to support all Taliban and ISIS. That's what they are taught in public schools today. Now let's get another support here that comes from the Muslim world. Only one nation that's in the Middle East is not a Muslim, and that's Israel. So the Levant doesn't exist because of Israel is not a Muslim nation. When you get your support from those who want to destroy Israel, to make it a Levant, because that's what the Islamic State of Iraq, Levant is all about. That's ISIL. Is to get rid of Israel. You hear about these ballistic missiles being transported on commercial airlines to the United States. I'll guarantee it that's going to a Muslim going to some Islamic State of Muslim, that either Al-Qaeda, ISIS, or the Taliban. I guarantee it. And they don't know who is it being sent to. Well, it's very obvious that it's a cover-up. And it's very obvious that things like that are happening. And here's the thing of it is, Hillary Clinton, none of the Clinton clan condemn it. They think it's okay. You don't hear the Republicans condemning it because they're all brewing over one thing: who's better. This is kind of the reason why I look at things like, which political party am I going to vote for? Of course, it's obvious I'm going to vote for the best. And the best right now is the Libertarian Party. They haven't changed my mind. I like their idea of liberty and freedom. I like the idea that freedom and liberty is not getting your support from your enemies. Matter of fact, to go along with the communist nations, let's say this much. Seeing that the communist nations are supporting, what about the enemy up in North Korea? North Korea is supporting Hillary Clinton. End of sentence. China is. Because China is the enemy to the United States of America, supports Hillary Clinton. Vietnam, Cuba, Kenya. All communist nations. So, if you look at communist nations supporting Hillary Clinton to become president, and you know that it's kind of obvious that the fence is being whitewashed by the Communist Party of America, along with the Democrats and the Socialists and the Liberals out there, such as feminists. It's being whitewashed so that it looks good. Let's put it this way. Looking good is not being good. Anybody could put on a good, clean suit to make themselves look like they have power, they have trust. You could trust them. Of course, in Hillary Clinton's case, any woman could put on a skirt and shouldn't put on a skirt. Should wear men's pants, men's trousers, men's suits, in defiance of Deuteronomy 22, verse 5. And in defiance of God. If you notice, all these things that I've spoken about are against truth, are against freedom and liberty. And there's only one thing that we do know. What I haven't spoke about is truth, and is freedom, and is liberty. And if you don't believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, a suggestion is here. And this suggestion, believe it or not, comes from God. It also is what backs me up when I'm saying. Do your research. Cite the scriptures. Examine the scriptures. God says that versus what Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State of Muslims say you have to do. You have to obey a black rock and play to the black rock. This is why I'm encouraging those who do not believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior to join up and to look at and to examine. For now, we're going to say it this much. I will love to say this all the time. Matter of fact, I will. Even if I'm told I cannot do it any longer. To those who believe and to those who do not believe. May the Lord bless